Yeah, I don't have an applause machine, but yeah. Welcome to Spinner Swap Beer Review. I'm Shagdog. And we got with us, not Jammer, but JammerFan.
Yeah, I thought I would make my glorious return. It's been a long time. There's been several videos where like JammerFan was supposed to join. We haven't heard anything from JammerFan for a while. So a random drinking and thinking. Let's do it, man. And beer stocks are rising because of inflation.
Right. Everything's rising. Yeah. I mean, not the stocks themselves. The stocks are actually dropping, but the prices are rising. That's what it should be.
Prices. Maybe. Oh yeah. It's a clusterfuck.
But I'm going to review JammerFan something called Juicy Bomb IPA by Sloop. I don't know if you can see that because of the damn orange, but Sloop Brewing. Sloop. And it's a IPA. I can't read it. Juice Bomb. Oh, it's a 94 by Beer Advocate. It's a New England style IPA. And Sloop Brewing, 6.5% ABV. And they're out of Elizaville, New York.
Yeah. So I am doing Outlaw Brewing's. It's their Mile High beer, but it's a confusing can. So first of all, here's just it says Rocky Mountain Outlaw. Daredevil says 1859, enjoy the gold. And then they have another slogan on it that says punch the pickaxe. And I'm not really sure why would you want to punch the pick? I'm not really sure what they mean by that. Yeah. Like, I'm not sure if it's a good idea to punch the pickaxe. And it's not like this is a punch flavored beer. They're just saying go punch something because you're probably going to get drunk off this because it's $8.99 for a 12-pack at my liquor store. It's a brand new product.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap.
And then here's the actual, logo of the beer. It's got a crazy moose head. It almost kind of looks like they're ripping off the moose lager from Canada, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you see a cheap lager with a moose, and then it says Mile High, but high is spelled like saying hi to somebody. Mile High Light Beer. So and then to make things more confusing, it's actually brewed by Tivoli in Denver, Colorado, which is a brewery that already exists that's contract brewing this beer that's trying to look like it's Canadian. But at the same time, the Mile High name, that's in Colorado, Denver, Mile High City. So they're trying to, I don't know, like they're trying to go Canadian, but Colorado-ian. Like it's an interesting thing. We talked a little bit before we started. I can't really find much on this beer. There really doesn't exist. There's a different beer these guys make on Untapped, the Hefeweizen. But yeah, there's not really a lot of info on this beer.
Yeah. So you'll have that sometimes.
Yeah, it's a new thing. You know, I like to try light lagers. One thing I like about this channel, Shagdog, is you're kind of a light lager connoisseur. You know more than me about light lagers. You could tell me like, oh, Mile High, Miller High Life used to taste like this, and it was this ABV. Now it's this. Like you know a lot about that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour it.
It might come out of the memory banks if I know something like that. But I do believe Miller High Life was a higher ABV at one time. I thought, but it's like 4.
It was, it was. That's why I learned that from you, man. That's what I was saying. You know what's up. So I got this poured. I'll let you go ahead and smell yours. But yeah, I showed the can. I got this poured. It's pretty clear. Yeah, yours looks pretty hazy.
Look at that head on that damn thing. I only poured a little bit more than half the can. I did a slow pour too. Of course, I just did buy it today. It's probably not even fully cold. I put it in the fridge about 3 hours ago, so that could be the reason why I'm getting so much head. Also, on Beer Advocate, about this beer, it says notes an explosively unfiltered IPA, golden in color, kind of orangey golden, bursted with citrus flavor that balances with a touch of bitterness on the finish. So there you go. Look at all that head. Man, it's going to take forever. I wish I had a spoon. I would just spoon the head out of it. Yeah, I did. I spilled a beer the other night. We were doing a beer review, me and Jammer. I poured it.
I saw that one, and then you went away, and then I don't think I saw. I think you edited that out because it just was like Jammer.
Yeah, Jammer. I said I spilled a beer. I figured he would stop.
And then you came in, you're like, oh, dude.
I said, I spilled a little bit. Oh, hold on. And he just kept talking. I'm like, so I went and cleaned it up. I edited some of it out, but I had a bunch on here. I don't know if you saw, I went down and slurped that shit up off the table, because it started running down the back end of the table, so I didn't want to get on the carpet. So
yeah,
that was pretty funny. All right, so this one definitely really foamy head on that shit. I mean, it's like sea foam in there, yeah.
Yeah, that's the rock, like craggy, rocky, foamy head. Yeah, dense bubbles.
Yep. It's like that's how life is created out of shit like that back in the beginning of time. Yeah. Some little creature crawled up out of it and life was born. Yeah.
Well, they use a lot of oats in the hazy IPAs and a lot of wheat, and the oats and the wheat, I think, they give that kind of head. Like a lot of Hefeweizens, will have that.
This one, JammerFan, is they say golden, but that's more of an orange. I don't know if you can see because my lighting sucks, but orangey kind of, to me, orangey, gold, yellow, whatever. But it looks good. Smells citrusy. Citrusy, fruity juice. Juicy. Definitely juicy. Yeah, it smells good. I really like it, I think. I like New England IPAs. Most of them. I've had a couple that I didn't like, but. All right, so what you got on yours? What's it look like? What's it smell like?
All right, well, the head's very thin. I went ahead and just topped this glass off. This is kind of like just a little, it's probably a fancy glass for this beer, but I thought I'd give it a chance. So I'm going to just, it's interesting. It's kind of hard to describe, but first of all, it smells a little bit like a golden ale, where it's got a very buttery, and I don't know if it's diacetyl I'm smelling. Maybe they just, it could be a byproduct of the brewing process, but it smells really buttery. And I definitely smell this like 2-row pale in there, which is interesting. I thought this was just going to be like rice, corn, and maybe some Pilsner lager, but there is some corn taste in there. There's a huge adjunct like wafting out. So it's kind of like they were trying to go craft by putting some pale malt, and then they threw the corn in or whatever corn syrup or probably some kind of, I mean, they're selling this for $8.99 for a 12-pack. Have you ever been to Trader Joe's, Shagdog? Have you heard of Trader Joe's?
I've heard of it, never been to one.
So they have their own line of beer. So they're kind of more out in the West, but they have a beer called Simpler Times, which forever, and I think it went up. Yeah, you guys had Simpler Times. It sells for $3.99 a 6-pack. At least now it's up to $5.99. It's crazy. Like I wouldn't pay that much for Simpler Times because of inflation, but traditionally it sold for $3.99. And it has this cheap, even though it's 5.9%, Simpler Times is like, it definitely has like a weird combination of a malt liquor smell with like an adjunct lager smell.
Yeah.
And this is very similar. This is 4.2, but I get like that cheap Simpler Times smell. So I don't know. It's like cream corn, like the can of cream corn. There's some creaminess. There's some butteriness. There's some bread. There's no hops. It's just kind of, it just smells kind of like grainy adjuncty.
Sounds good though. Yeah, we did. There was one of those stores down in Florida, but it was like 3 hours south of us, I guess, down by Fort Myers. And the guy we did beer review one time with Crisco 3D, Crawl the Beer Man. Yeah. He gave us some. So yeah, we did a review on that. So that was back in like 2013 or something.
Yeah.
And it's still warm actually, so it didn't really chill really good.
Mine's pretty warm too. I only had it in the fridge for like 10 minutes before we did this. So.
Yeah. Typical New England IPA. It's a little fruity, juicy, a little hoppy, but it's not overpowering. It's like very light on. I mean, at least the taste is very light on the hops. I'm not sure what the IBUs are, but some type of fruit in there.
Is it more like tropical or citrus? Like what spectrum is it on?
More of a citrus, I would say. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm getting maybe a mandarin type or tangerine taste. Not really tangerine, but maybe orange or mandarin, some type of grapefruit is not grapefruit for sure. There might be a little bit of grapefruit, that citrus hops or whatever, but it's very light. It's easy to drink. I don't like IPAs, but New England IPAs, I seem to they're easier to drink than a West Coast IPA to me. Yeah. Although I did have one New England IPA about a month or two ago. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, man, this tastes like it was hoppy as hell, and I was like, this is almost like a West Coast IPA. But it was a New England IPA, but it was made somewhere out west, so it probably was closer to a West Coast IPA. Yeah. I even said something. I was like, I don't know who the hell these guys are trying to fool, but they didn't do a good job making a New England IPA, whatever it was. This one's pretty good, though. I like it. Smooth. I never had a beer. I don't think I've ever had a beer by these guys, Sloop Brewing. Out of New York, though. New York. Actually, pretty good job by it, because not a lot of New York brewing companies. A couple of them are all right, but a lot of them, are kind of crappy. Not crappy, but yeah. Nothing really good, Like, wow, this made Shagdog happy,
Southern Tier is probably my favorite New York brewing company. I really like their pumpkin beer.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I don't know if you see one of my recent videos. I was talking about another guy I watched a beer a day with TK. Talked about it's harder to find some beers, and blah blah blah. And he wondered himself in the craft beer movement, because where he lives up in Ohio, I'm not sure if he's by Cleveland or Columbus or where he's at, but he said he goes to his local store where he usually gets beer, and less companies beers are there. So, and I said the same thing. Matter of fact, the store I went to today, they're usually got this one shelf of craft beer, and it has some ciders way to the far left, a couple big bottles to the far left, but 80% of the shelf was craft beer singles. I go in there today, it's probably 5 feet long of craft beer. That's it. A bunch of them are gone. And I said, is this going to be the norm now? He goes, actually, we're probably going to eventually get rid of it. A lot of people just don't buy it. It goes bad and we throw it away. But I'm thinking there's a lot of good beers on the shelf, 6-packs, a lot of good foreign beers and stuff too, that they never put a single out. Once in a blue moon they do. And I'm thinking, well, they're usually putting the stuff that's about expired on the shelf anyhow, what I'm thinking, But that's why they usually have crappy beers on the shelf. So, oh well. I'll have to find a new place. But I'm not a big beer drinker. Jammer will. I mean, as far as buying 6-packs, I'm not going to buy a 6-pack of this. I'd rather go cheap. Yeah, even though it's expensive per single beer, I'd rather pay the $3 for a single beer instead of paying $12 or whatever for a 4-pack or a 6-pack. Yeah. And just drink one, and I might not like it, so then I'll have a bunch of beers. Oh, crap. Now, not that I might not like it, but it's like, okay, yeah, that's good, but I'll never buy it again because, that's what I do. My name is Shagdog, and I review beers and chew gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
No, I run into the same problem here, man. There's so many beers here in Fort Collins, Colorado that even though they have a ton of singles out, a lot of times there's something I want to try, and it may only be in a 4-pack or a 6-pack.
Yeah.
But I still have a pretty good selection to go for. A lot of times the singles will sit there for a while, so you really have to check the dates. On the that agave weed I sent you a picture of earlier. When I got home, I saw that it was Best Buy 3/18/22. It's not that far past that, you know. But it was still $229 for the single. $229 is the minimum now, it might be. So you can't find any single for under $229. Some of them are $5 or $6, depending on the beer. The average price is probably $4 or $3.50, probably like $4 for, and that's usually a 16-ounce. I've noticed a lot of the beers now are in the 16-ounce cans, at least out here, and not in the smaller cans. That seems to be kind of what they're doing. It's a 4-pack of the 16 ounces. I was looking for a couple singles today. I got that Mario Brothers IPA and the agave wheat from Breckenridge. And then I saw this guy, and I was like, okay, $8.99, for a 12-pack. It might be a good beer just to stash away.
So how do you like it? You taste it yet, or you
Yeah,
still?
yeah. So it's probably the sweetest smelling light beer in this category that I've smelled. I really couldn't find any info on calories on how like it compares to like a Bud Light or a Coors. I'm guessing it has more calories because there's more of a malt flavor and it's very sweet. I think, like I know you know a little bit about brewing beer. Obviously, like um the more of the carbs from the grain you ferment, the higher alcohol by volume it is. And sometimes if you want a beer that has a sweeter flavor, you kind of when you're fermenting it, I guess they call it the gravity, right? You can kind of adjust the temperature, how long you're fermenting, all these kind of things.
It's like magic.
Yeah. I would say if this was ice cold, the sweetness probably wouldn't come out as much and it'd be smoother, but I can actually smell what's here. And again, there's like zero hops in this. I smell like it's like cream can, like if you smell a can of cream corn cooking,
Right.
it's a creamy corn, and there's a little bit of vanilla and it's like cream corn maize, like like the ground maize.
Yeah.
Then I get the two row. It's like a sugary pound cake Wonder Bread kind of smell and taste. So let me test the sessionability of it. I'm gonna take a couple nice drinks off this guy and just see if the quenchability of it, which is a huge part in a light beer. If it's too heavy, if it's not quenching enough,
Yeah.
All right. Mid palate, if I take a big drink of it like that, on the middle of a palate, I weirdly get a Miller High Life note. You know how in High Life, and High Life has a little more hops in this, and it's a little more drier and bubbly. But mid palate on High Life, you do get kind of a sweetness. You know what I'm talking about? For like a second.
Yeah.
It just pops across. It's like mid palate, kind of middle of your tongue. It's and it's kind of like I don't know. Would you say there's a slight corny flavor in Miller High Life? Like not High Life Light, the normal Miller High Life. It's like 4 point whatever.
I get a lot of like a cooked, like Jay Louisiana Beer Review says, like a cooked corn. I get a cooked corn taste, like I don't know, maybe like I said, cream corn, maybe burnt a little bit. I don't know.
So you know what? I think it's that cooked corn because Miller High Life's not as sweet. I think it's that cooked corn flavor. But if you did like a canned sweet corn or a cream corn and cooked it a little bit, so it's like it's like that flavor, but with this like vanilla-y, almost like a sweet bread. Like they have like these semi-sweet white breads I've had before that's like it's a sandwich bread, but or almost like the Hawaiian bread. You know those Hawaiian breads that they have? It's got like a sweetness. It's like a, it's now they have like Hawaiian sliders is this big thing and stuff. It's like that sweet, it's breadiness, but it's like a sweet breadiness.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you this probably has 10, 20 more calories in it than a Miller High Life because they're not trying to, they're going for a low ABV, but I don't think they're trying to specifically make a super low calorie. I've noticed that about some of the Colorado craft quote unquote lagers, Mountain Time, which I've drank a lot. It's got a little more of a sweetness to it than the super dry, like Bud Light, Coors. That stuff's just dry. They're fermenting everything they can out of the grain for the cost. The dryness and the overcarbonation on those beers just makes it go down like seltzer water. This beer is it's not very carbonated. I was kind of surprised. I would say it's like if I would call like Coors Light medium high on the carbonation scale. This is like a medium low. It's kind of like, it's dialing it back. It's sweeter. It almost, if it had some good like German hops in there or something, it could almost make a very nice like Helles lager or something, but there's no hop at all. It just, it's smooth though. Like if it was ice cold, I could see it having some poundability, but I think you would get kind of filled up after 3 or 4 of these because of the sweetness. It's interesting. I doubt it'll ever be distributed outside of Colorado, but I got to send you guys a beer mail at some point. So this will definitely go in there if I send you guys some beer.
You never know.
I'll send you the beer, and I'll tell Jammer he's going to have to drive to you if he wants
right.
to try it. I'm not going to mail him to. You're closer to me than Jammer, so I can just be like, I had to mail him to Shagdog. It's cheaper. And then
then he'll have to come up and get them.
He'll have to come up and get them. Yeah.
Yeah, then he can bring me some Florida beers, and
yeah, you guys do a swap. It's going to be like the underground beer railroad. I'll be like funneling beer, then you funnel it to Jammer, and we're just going to like get craft stuff.
Now Jammer told me something about beer mail. I said, "What? I thought it's illegal to send beer in the mail," but he said, "Yeah, you just say it's something else, and make sure you wrap it up good and all that."
Yeah,
and you just say it's shampoo or whatever, And I'm like, "Oh." Or whatever.
You can even say it's live yeast samples. That way, if they shake it around and they hear a sloshing, and you're technically not lying. Yeah, it's. I know people that send beer mail all the time. I have a whole tutorial list that I saved on how to send it. It's kind of complicated. You got to pack dry ice in there and do some more shit.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because depending on when you send it, it's better to send it when it's warm, like a warm time of year, and then put the dry ice in versus if you try to send it in the middle of winter and, I'm sending it from Colorado, and even where you're at, it may be super cold. You don't want the beer freezing, or getting too, so that's one of the hard. I would say it's better to send it like in late spring, early summer, and then put some dry ice in there to keep it from getting too warm. Probably the best. So.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll be getting some bonuses at work and pulling in some extra money this summer. So I might send you guys we'll send you a care package, and then Jammer will have to drive. And if it's special beer that he can't get, it might be a way to lure him out there, man.
Yeah. He's supposed to be going to Alaska on a cruise. So I'm assuming he's flying out that way. Then they're going to cruise. I know his mother and sister are supposed to be going. I'm not sure about his wife because he wasn't. I guess they made those plans before he got married. So I don't know if the wife is going or she's on. That's funny. Yeah,
Bye, honey, I'm going on a cruise without you. Happy honeymoon.
Yeah, I said, man, you got to try to get some beer while you're out there and bring it back. Alaska, I know there's an Alaska beer called Alaska Brewing Company or something.
No, there's a couple. I have a buddy that lives in Alaska. Yeah, there's some good breweries out there. They do some cool stuff.
So I told him they won't let me bring that back on the boat. I'm like, you keister that shit.
At least they don't have the 22-ounce bombers anymore. It's just like a 16-ounce can. That might be a little easier to keister.
Yeah.
Than the 22-ounce, with the metal bottle cap on it. Might be a little harder.
Those cans I got, the ones I showed you, the 6 Point Brewing, they're like little skinny ladyfinger cans, so that'd be a lot easier too to keister, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, I saw those. They were the skinny. Almost reminded me of like White Claw or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we did one of those, the Bengali or whatever hell, Benghazi. It's a Hillary Clinton beer or something. It's called Bengali or something like that, not Benghazi. But I said Hillary. I'm drooling on myself. I thought about Hillary, started drooling. But we did that one before. I don't know about the other one I bought, if we did that one before. But one time they have a beer called Jammer or something, and he was really excited about those beers. They named the beer after me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, okay.
So there's a beer out here named after Jammer. It's called like Jammer's Jammy Jam Band or something like that. And it's like super, has like all kinds of berries in it. Plus there's another one from Boulevard called Jam Band. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No. Yeah, there's another one.
I need to like collect some Jammer beers. Maybe that'll be the key to getting him to come visit you. I'll send you a bunch of Jammer beers, and he's going to have to travel to get them.
Yeah. There's another one I did a couple month or two ago. It's called Jam Session IPA or something like that. Jam Sessions. I was trying to hold off on that one, take it to him someday, but the beer options were running out. So I said, let me just get this one.
Yeah.
Oh well. But it's true though. With our beer review, I'm looking at it right now. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go to my channel. I dropped down the last couple of days. I've been active with it, uploading all those videos I did by myself, and the ones I did with Jammer, and the views just kept shooting up. Commented on a couple of videos, and now past 2 days I haven't been doing anything, and it shut down. So already chugged mine. This one's not too bad for a New England style IPA from New York, which is Mid Atlantic, actually, right? I'm gonna give it a B plus and a swallow. It's pretty drinkable IPA, and it was delicious and refreshing.
Nice. I'm gonna give mine a B, but I'm gonna give it a Swarter. I wouldn't give it a swath because it's not like you could just drink it like all the time, like all day. But
right.
It's to me, it's kind of like somebody tried to make a craft version of Miller High Life. Which how often are you gonna find that?
Right.
How often are you gonna find something like that? Yeah. I would like to do this side by side with Miller High Life, both really cold, both after like sweating away, mowing the yard, and like it's been really humid out here lately. So just like, I want to like maybe I'll do like a showdown. Because High Life is about the same price as this. So they're like two titans, battling for the High Life crown.
Yeah.
So be in a Swarter, bro, and I'll finish it out. You have to finish your drink on Spirit's Wild Beer.
Yep. You finish it?
Oh, cheers. Yep.
Let's go. All right. Well, thanks for watching the Spirit's Wild Beer Review with my special super duper co-host tonight, JammerFan. Not only Jammer's fan, but the Spirit's Wild Beer Review's #1 fan.
Thank you.
All right. But we might be back with another special beer or just drinking and thinking, actually. But
drinking and thinking.
And we'll see you on the next one. Anything closing thoughts there, JammerFan?
No, just thanks for having me on your show, man. It's good to be back on. It's been a while since I've been on, and it's been fun. I've actually been growing my hair like during the second part of the pandemic, so I think I've gotten like another like 6 inches on my hair since I was last on. Wow. I'm like aged. I look like I've been on an island.
I had a haircut a few weeks ago. My actual bang, because I parted, but it was actually down to here. I could stretch it down to the top of my lip. Now I'm back down to about the middle of my nose. But
I'm due for a haircut. I've just been pushing it as far as I can. I'm hoping the monkeypox can give me like another good 6 inches. Like we got a whole nother thing in the shoot. But anyways, I'm saving that for drinking and thinking. Saving that for drinking and thinking, man. All right. I'll see you soon, Shagdog.
See you on the next one. Plus my spot.